You're listening to Do This First, a daily personal development podcast that focuses on science-backed, actionable steps towards your best year ever. Hi, I'm Santa, your host. Today, we're kicking off our 12-part series, Shine with Shakespeare. William Shakespeare, often regarded as the greatest playwright in English literature, was born in England around April 1564. His exact birth date is not really known, but it is traditionally celebrated on April 23rd, the same date as his death. His father, John Shakespeare, was a successful glove maker and trader, while his mother, Mary Arden, came from a higher social standing. This background placed Shakespeare in a comfortable middle-class upbringing. Regarding his education, Shakespeare attended the local grammar school in Stratford, where he would have studied Latin and Greek classics. His formal education likely ended around his early teens due to financial difficulties his family faced. Shakespeare married Anne Hathaway in 1582, and they had 3 kids. Susanna, who was born 6 months after their marriage, and twins Judith and Hamlet. Unfortunately, Hamlet died at a young age. Shakespeare was baptized as an Anglican and likely adhered to that denomination. During his lifetime, Shakespeare was not only popular, but also respected for his craft. He enjoyed the patronage of Queen Elizabeth I and later King James I, which elevated his status as a playwright for the royal court. His works were enjoyed by a broad spectrum of audiences, from the nobility to the common people, due to their universal themes, relatable characters, and engaging plots. Today, Shakespeare is considered one of the greatest literary figures in history. His works, consisting of approximately 38 plays and 154 sonnets and several poems, continue to be studied, performed, and celebrated worldwide. His impact on literature, language, and culture is immeasurable, and he is revered for his profound insights into human nature, his timeless themes, and his unparalleled mastery of the English language. Shakespeare's first known work is believed to be the narrative poem Venus and Adonis. It was published around 1593. This poem was dedicated to Harry Wriothesley, the Earl of Southampton. It's a retelling of the story of Venus, the goddess of love, and Adonis, a young and handsome mortal man. Venus and Adonis was well received and contributed to Shakespeare's early success as a writer. Because this episode is specifically centered around vulnerability and our personal development lessons through that perspective, I wanted to take a look at a couple of Shakespeare's works that explore themes of vulnerability, that showcase characters and situations that lay bare their emotional, physical, or psychological weaknesses. Some of Shakespeare's plays that prominently explore vulnerability include King Lear. It's one of Shakespeare's greatest tragedies. It's rich with examples of vulnerability that offer profound insights into human nature and personal growth. Here are some specific vulnerabilities exposed in the play and corresponding life lessons that can be gleaned from them. Firstly, King Lear's pride and hubris. Lear's vulnerability stems from his pride and hubris, which blinds him to the true intentions of those around him. This leads to disastrous decisions such as dividing his kingdom based on flattery rather than genuine love. It's like having a bunch of yes men surrounding you. The lesson is very clear. The lesson is that humility and the importance in leadership is key. Lear's downfall teaches us that arrogance and vanity can cloud judgment. It can also lead to disastrous consequences, as evidenced with King Lear. By humbling oneself and listening to counsel, wise counsel from others, we can avoid making impulsive and ego-driven decisions, because those are usually not the best. And then Cordelia's loyalty and silence. King Lear's youngest daughter, Cordelia, demonstrates vulnerability through her unwavering loyalty to her father, even when it means speaking the truth and risking his wrath. The lesson is that Cordelia's example really teaches us the importance of staying true to our values and principles, even in the face of adversity. The lesson here is the power of honesty and integrity, showing that it is better to speak the truth with compassion than to compromise one's belief to appease others, even her father. The third lesson, Gloucester's trust and betrayal. The character of Gloucester experiences vulnerability through betrayal by his son, Edmund, leading to his physical and emotional suffering. The lesson is Gloucester's art teaches us the consequences of misplaced trust and the importance of discerning true loyalty from deceit. The lesson here is to be cautious but not cynical in trusting others. Taking the time to truly know and understand people can help prevent falling victim to manipulation and deception. Fourth lesson that we see areas of vulnerability in these characters is Edgar's resilience and redemption. Edgar, Gloucester's legitimate son, faces vulnerability when he is unjustly accused and becomes a fugitive. Through his ordeals, he learns to overcome his obstacles and finds strength in adversity. The lesson is Edgar's journey demonstrates the resilience and inner resolve that can be found in times of vulnerability. The lesson here is to embrace challenges as opportunities for growth and transformation. By facing adversity with courage, we can not only survive, but also emerge stronger and more compassionate individuals. Showing vulnerability can be a powerful and authentic way to connect with others and deepen relationships. While vulnerability can be valuable, it is essential to consider the context and timing of when it is appropriate to show vulnerability, as we've seen with the characters in King Lear. It's crucial to show vulnerability to individuals whom you trust and who have earned the right to hear your personal thoughts and feelings. Choose to open up to people who have shown empathy, respect, and understanding and who have earned the right to hear your personal thoughts and feelings. Sharing vulnerability with the right person or people can lead to meaningful exchanges and strengthen bonds. Before revealing vulnerability, assess the situation and your emotional state. Displaying vulnerability should come from a place of self-awareness and emotional intelligence. Understand the reasons behind your vulnerability and give some thought on how it may impact others. Communicate your emotions in a constructive and thoughtful way, as a positive dialogue and genuine connection is the best outcome. With that being said, there are situations where we should not show vulnerability. I'm not saying that it is not a valuable tool, especially for building connections and personal growth, but there are certain situations where showing vulnerability is just not the best course of action. Here's some examples. In a professional setting, in many professional environments, displaying vulnerability may be perceived as a sign of weakness or incompetence. In highly competitive workplaces or leadership positions, excessive vulnerability can be exploited by others or undermine your credibility. It is important to maintain a level of professionalism and boundaries. Now, that's not to say, as a leader, there are times where it's okay to show that, hey, you are vulnerable, because that makes it more authentic. But you have to choose wisely. Most situations don't call for that level of transparency. Number 2, in an unsafe or toxic relationship, revealing vulnerability to individuals who've demonstrated manipulative, abusive, or toxic behavior can leave you vulnerable to further harm. In those situations, it's essential to protect yourself and prioritize your emotional well-being. It may be more appropriate to seek support from a trusted friend, from family members, or even from a healthcare professional. Number 3, during negotiations or conflicts, Showing vulnerability in high-stakes negotiations or conflicts can potentially be used against you to gain leverage or exploit weaknesses. There's a book I read called Never Split the Difference. I believe it was by Rick Voss. You should check that out because it's definitely about this. In situations where assertiveness or strategic communication is required, it may be more effective to maintain a composed and diplomatic demeanor while addressing the issues at hand. Number 4, when safety is at risk. Revealing vulnerabilities that could compromise your physical safety or security should be avoided at all costs. Protecting yourself from harm should always take precedence over openly sharing vulnerabilities in situations where it could put you at risk. It's important to exercise discernment and judgment when deciding whether to show vulnerability in different contexts. By being aware of these situations and considering the potential consequences, you can navigate the complexities of vulnerability while safeguarding your well-being. Also consider the vulnerabilities depicted in King Lear, as Shakespeare imparts timeless lessons on humility, integrity, discernment, resilience, and redemption. By reflecting on these themes and characters, we can also gain valuable insights into our own lives and strive for personal growth and development. If you like what you're hearing, don't forget to leave a review. You can also read a full transcript of this podcast episode and all 189 podcast episodes and counting on my blog, dothisfirst.life. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel at Do This First. I'm trying to get to 10,000. I'm going to keep bugging everyone until I get there. So please help me out. And thanks in advance. You can also sign up for my new weekly newsletter, which will help you get your week started on a positive note, and updates on coaching, books, merch, and my public speaking engagements as they become available. Tomorrow we'll continue with the second installment of our Shine with Shakespeare series. Until tomorrow. Moving past the red.